Good evening, and welcome back to WNBA Trending. I'm your host, Ava, and tonight we turn our attention to a fiery and emotional moment involving Indiana Fever superstar Caitlin Clark. In a season already filled with headlines, Clark once again found herself at the center of attention, this time for a tense exchange with referees that nearly escalated, if not for the steady hand of her teammate and fellow franchise cornerstone, Aliyah Boston. The Fever's latest matchup was supposed to be all about basketball, an opportunity to make a statement in the playoff chase and to prove that their young core is not just exciting but resilient. But instead of the highlight reels being dominated by step-back threes or powerful post moves, the cameras caught something different. Caitlin Clark visibly frustrated, arguing with officials and nearly crossing the line before Boston stepped in to de-escalate the situation. It all began in the third quarter when Clark drove hard to the basket, absorbed significant contact, and hit the floor without a whistle. The Fever bench immediately jumped to their feet, clamoring for a foul, but the referees signaled play on. Clark, known for her competitive fire and her willingness to speak her mind, could not hide her frustration. She turned quickly toward the baseline official, arms outstretched, voice raised, demanding an explanation. Fans in the arena could sense the tension building. Clark's body language was sharp, her tone firm, and it seemed as if the officials were preparing to issue a technical foul. That's when Aliyah Boston stepped in. Calm but firm, Boston placed her hands on Clark's shoulder, gently guiding her away from the official and pulling her toward the huddle. It wasn't just a teammate's gesture, it was a moment of leadership, reminding Clark of the bigger picture. This moment highlights the emotional roller coaster that comes with being one of the most scrutinized young stars in sports. Caitlin Clark has faced enormous pressure since stepping into the WNBA spotlight. Every move she makes is dissected by fans, analysts, and critics alike. And while her scoring and playmaking have brought Indiana a renewed sense of hope, her competitive fire has also drawn criticism at times. But here's the other side of the story. That same fire is what makes Clark who she is. It's the reason she's been able to perform at such a high level, even against the best defenders in the world. What we saw on the court wasn't simply a player losing her cool. It was a player who cares deeply about winning, who feels every possession matters, and who refuses to back down when she believes the game isn't being called fairly. Aliyah Boston's role in this situation cannot be overstated. Boston, the 2023 Rookie of the Year and a foundational piece of Indiana's rebuild, has quickly grown into a leader on and off the floor. By stepping in to calm Clark, she not only prevented a possible technical foul that could have shifted momentum, but she also sent a message about accountability and composure. Boston reminded everyone, teammates, coaches, and fans, that leadership is not always about scoring points or grabbing rebounds. Sometimes, it's about knowing when to pull your teammate back from the edge. The Fever eventually regrouped, and while the officiating remained a point of contention for players and fans, the team managed to channel that frustration into energy on the defensive end. Clark's competitive spark didn't fade. She continued to attack, to shoot, and to push the pace, but the confrontation never escalated further, thanks to Boston's timely intervention. This incident also raises larger questions about officiating in the WNBA. Many fans online have pointed out that Clark, like other rookies before her, has not always received the benefit of the whistle. Some argue that her high-profile status has actually made her a target, while others believe officials are simply holding her to the same standard as everyone else. Either way, the debate has sparked heated discussion on social media, with "Protect Caitlin Clark" becoming a trending phrase following the game. Former players and analysts weighed in as well. Some praised Clark for her passion, arguing that great players, from Diana Taurasi to Sue Bird to Candace Parker, have all had moments of conflict with referees. Others suggested that Clark must learn to channel her emotions more effectively if she wants to avoid becoming a distraction for her team. One analyst put it bluntly, "Caitlin Clark is a competitor, and competitors push boundaries." But the difference between frustration and leadership is composure. That's where Aliyah Boston comes in. She's the anchor, the steadying force. That anchor role is something Indiana desperately needs. This Fever team is still young, still developing chemistry, and still learning how to handle adversity. Their talent is undeniable, but moments like this one show that growth is not just about X's and O's. It's about maturity, discipline, and trust between teammates. Off the court, Clark addressed the situation briefly. When asked about her exchange with the referees, she admitted she felt she had been fouled but praised her teammates for keeping her grounded. "I just want to compete," Clark said. "Sometimes I get caught up in the moment, but Aliyah had my back. That's what makes this team special. We look out for each other." Boston, for her part, downplayed her actions, saying simply, "That's what teammates do. We pick each other up. We stay focused on the game." Her humility underscored what fans already know: Boston's leadership goes far beyond the box score. For the Fever organization, this was an important lesson. They saw firsthand how quickly emotions can swing a game, but also how strong leadership can redirect that energy into something positive. For fans, it was a reminder of why this team is so exciting to watch. Clark's fire, Boston's poise, and the collective resilience of the roster make them one of the most compelling stories in the league. The moment will no doubt be replayed, dissected, and debated in the days ahead. Was Clark too aggressive with the referees? Did the officials miss an obvious foul? Was Boston's intervention the turning point that kept Indiana in the game? All of these questions will linger, but one thing is certain. This Fever team is building an identity, and moments like these are part of the process. In the long run, incidents like this may prove to be pivotal in Clark's development as a professional. Learning how to balance passion with composure is something every star must master. The fact that she has a teammate like Aliyah Boston by her side gives her a powerful advantage. So while headlines may scream about confrontation and restraint, the real story here is one of leadership, teamwork, and growth. Caitlin Clark may have needed to be pulled back in the heat of the moment, but with Boston's guidance, she and the Fever are learning how to channel that fire into winning basketball. That's the story tonight. Caitlin Clark, Aliyah Boston, and a moment of tension that turned into a lesson in leadership. I'm Ava, and you've been watching WNBA Trending. Stay tuned for more updates, highlights, and analysis as the season unfolds.